see here. And to my returning subscribers, I say thank you. I love you guys. To my first time viewers and to my subscribers that will view and won't hit the subscribe button, please subscribe. It is free. Please hit the notification bell and the subscribe button so that when next I post a new video, you'll be notified. Yeah. So today I'll be talking about maids, nanny, house help, you can call it anything, and my experience. So I've not really had good experience with having help in the house. I'm going to start with, I've just had only two, but I really had a very terrible experiences with those girls. I recently saw what motivated this video. I recently saw a video on Facebook. It's trending on Facebook. If you would like to see the video, please check me up on Facebook, Ifeoma Dubisi. You will see the story there. I actually shared it and it prompted me, like it got me emotional. I started having goosebumps because the story is actually very similar to mine. The only difference is that the child ended up dead in their issue. So I've had only two helps. The first one, and what is really getting me worried, I'm having phobia for having another help. And by next week Tuesday, the agency will be bringing another nanny for me. So it's really getting me. I'm scared. Yeah, I'm scared of having a new nanny. I've always wanted a child that will grow up with my kids, so that maybe when I want to go out, I can leave the kids in her care. Maybe when I want to go to market to buy foodstuffs, not to market to sell things, to just buy foodstuffs. When I want to just step out, I can see somebody that will leave the kids with. But it hasn't favored me. So they'll be bringing someone on Tuesday, and guys, I'm really scared. Honestly, I'm really scared. I'm having this phobia. I've been putting it into prayers. It's a living nanny, a girl of 32 and above. Well guys, I'm really scared, honestly. My first experience was when I had my second baby. My first experience was when I had my second baby. She's from the southern Kaduna. She's just 13 years old. So she came a few days before I had my baby. So when I saw the girl, I liked her. She's a northern and she's a Hausa girl. She was just 13. I just needed someone that would be playing with my baby. Someone that when my baby wants to go downstairs, she'll be watching him and be playing with him. That was the main purpose why I brought her. And then I had my baby like 3 days or 4 days when she came. So my granny came and was bathing my baby. You know the African way of observing Omugo. So my grandma came and was bathing my baby. Few days later, because she eats like a horse, but I don't have issue with that. I really do not have issue with that. My grandma came and was bathing my baby, so I was also helping. I was preparing food. A few days later, I gave her lunch, and she said she wasn't going to eat until it gets very cold. Someone I know that can eat from the pot, no matter how hot it is. And I asked her, why are you not eating? Because she was in the room with me. And I asked her, why won't you eat now? Since we didn't make lunch early that day, you should be hungry. She then said she has injury on her tongue. I said, on your tongue? How managed? My grandma started laughing. She said, my son of a year and I think 4 months or 6 months, that my son beat her on her tongue. I was now becoming worried. My granny was laughing. It was a very funny thing to her, but it wasn't funny to me because I read stories on social media. So my grandma doesn't know anything. She doesn't know what is happening. Ah, and I said, how did my son bite you on your tongue? She said, we were playing. And I said, you were playing with your tongue. How? Explain to me. Then she saw I was becoming so curious. She now said, no, it was when I was sleeping. My grandma was just like, just leave her. What is there? They are kids. I just decided, okay, let me just die down and observe that. I really have to start observing. And then I had a nanny that comes every day, cleans the house and does stuff, and she leaves. The nanny called me a few days later. I was like, I should bend my eye where this little girl is. And I'm like, did you see anything? She didn't want to say. Maybe so that it wouldn't be like I drove the girl away because of her. I just told her, okay, thank you. I started observing till the day I caught her kissing my son. Like tongue kissing. She had her tongue inside my son's mouth. So initially, that is how she got her first injury. And I'm like, what? Let me because I like to warn. Like I warn you like twice before I hit you or anything. And I told her, let me never see you repeat this. Never. It never occurred to me she was molesting my son. So she said, okay. And then that day I went to her bag. I went to her room. I had to pull out her things from her bag. And guys, I saw my undies, my husband's undies. She was urinating inside empty Ragolis, this empty Eva bottle, the big size. She was urinating and storing them in quantum. I saw, what else? I saw my money. I saw noodles she was buying. I give her noodles. I don't know. Those ones are just minor things. Just minor things. I queried her, and all my undies she has stolen. She said she ties it by the side to wear. I just left them for her, and she was wearing. I don't really bought undies for her. So I didn't understand the need to steal mine. I saw the juice she steals from the fridge in her bag. God. I asked her, why are you storing your urine? You have toilet and bathroom in your room. So why are you storing? She said she drinks it. Oh my God. You drink your urine. Some of them have stayed for like 1 week. Weeks, days. I don't know how long. She had them so many. God. That was weird to me. And later after that day, I saw a video on Facebook where a woman was scolding her nanny about pouring urine in their food. It just occurred to me. I said, are you sure this guy's not pouring urine inside the food we're eating? Okay, I just let down, just died down, and I think a few weeks later, because my mom came when my baby was already a month old. I had some things to settle before coming down for the omugo. I think at the end of the 1 month, my granny said she wanted to go to the village to do some things. So I was left alone with the girl. So that morning she woke up early. It was raining, the weather was cool and everything. So I was calling her. I just woke up because I breastfeed at night. I stay awake almost all night. So in the morning it makes me wake up late. When I woke up, I was calling her. She didn't hear me. So I stood up. I went to her room and I saw her. Guys, she wasn't really in a good position. She's just 13. She had her pants pulled and was seriously masturbating with a candle. I stood there for like a few seconds and she didn't even notice my presence. God. Guys, I was dumbfounded. I couldn't beat her. I couldn't do anything. All my mind was, who did this to this girl? I called her. I told her to dress up. I called her and started questioning her. That was when she started revealing it's not a today something. It has been long it started. You know, the Northerners, they marry early, so I think that's why they start introducing kids to sex at a very early age. But my problem was that due to the fact she's no longer in the north, she's now in my house, and maybe because it rained, she's now having urges. That was my fear. I had to call her mom and start explaining to her mom, do you know your daughter does this? She said yes. That he gets one man where they do him since when she did. She said when she was 8 years old. So, and I said, why did you tell me these details about your daughter? So I feel maybe all these mothers that usually give their kids out, they give out the bad ones. Honestly, I don't know if they give out the good ones. I've heard people saying there are good and bad. Of course there are good and bad, but I believe they give out the most stubborn ones out. So the mom said she started it when she was 7 or 8, and I said, okay, the man that does that to her is no longer here with her, but she's still doing it. It means your daughter is already addicted. That was when it occurred to me that all those my son beaten and done was actually molesting, and she wasn't playing with him. And I waited for my grandma to come back. I still narrating things to her. She not knowing that my grandma had seen her twice, but my grandma didn't understand what she was doing, guys. I had to bundle her back. I didn't want to talk about the way she steals. I was thinking maybe I'll just manage this side of her, but her stealing was so bad. Coupled with the more. So I checked her good and bad, and her bad side was outweighing her good. I had to send her back to her mom. Then after that, my mom came, we stayed. When my mom went back, I had my daughter last year, June. So I stayed alone till December. Until December, my mom came back for Christmas holiday with another girl. Guys, okay, this one she's 14 in SS1. When I saw her first, honestly, you have to follow your spirit. I don't know what they call it. As a mother, immediately I saw the girl, I was like, I don't like this girl. My mom was like, no, everybody was not trying to convince me. Oh, with time you get used to her. And I said, okay, fine, I took her. Guys, this girl does not smile. No matter what you do to make her happy. No matter. Anytime you correct her, she has a diary. She does not forget things. She goes to her diary to write what she did, what you did to her, what she did, and how she'll never forget. When you buy her gifts, she goes back to her diary to write you bought her gift, but that you can never replace her family. She was just 14. Then I was going to the market. So whenever I'm returning from the market, I buy her on this, so she'll have so many of it, and so she'll be happy. But she's never smiling. She's never happy. God, I didn't know what to do again. I enrolled her in a private Catholic school. It really cost me much. I didn't want to enroll her in a government school. It's not as if government schools are bad or anything, but my husband is the type that what I can't do to my child, I can't do to another person's child. So we took her to a very good school. I just paid her fees in February. Yeah, because we really searched for schools. I paid her fees in February. I paid her fees on a Friday, bought her locker, textbooks, everything. Because down here in the East, they don't give locker and chair. You buy it yourself. I settled everything that Friday. You know, Mondays here is also part of our weekend. So on Tuesday, she was supposed to go to school. She packed her things and she was leaving. I was dumbfounded. You're leaving to where? I didn't scold her. She didn't do anything. So she didn't have any reason to be leaving. You leave me to her that she can't stay. And I said, okay. I left her and went back to I went to the market. When I came back, I asked her, what were you saying? She now said she wasn't going to be again. I said fine. The next day she dressed up, she went to school. She went to school for like few days. So that same week, on the weekend, I I because I have this issue. I don't trust easily. So I don't leave my kids with any help or nanny. If I'm going to the market, I take you all along till you earn my trust. Maybe after a year or two before I start leaving my kids for you. So she hasn't earned my trust. I took them all to the market. I bathed my kids myself. I wash their clothes myself. All she does is just to spread it. That is all. Because I have my husband's apprentice all staying with us, so they do the work. I just need someone that will help me watching after my kids maybe when they're playing, but she wasn't even good with the kids. She didn't have patience. Like when my son does anything, he's collecting immediately. So that's Saturday. Then I just found out I was pregnant, and I was feeling so dizzy. You know how first 3 months of pregnancy is now. First 3 months of pregnancy is crazy. I'm going to do another video on that and talk about it, bro. So I took them out to the market. When we came back, I just figured out my kids were hungry and she should just make noodles. Let's eat. We went to buy things again Sunday afternoon. I just asked her to make noodles. She has never cooked for me. That is her first time. To make noodles so that we'll eat and I'll gain my strength and start making dinner. She said okay. She went and prepared 2 noodles. So when she came, I said, this one you dished everything for us. Are you not eating? She said no. I said okay, fine. Because I bought them snacks, maybe she's filled up. I ate from the noodles. I gave my kids from the noodles. I didn't know how I was not able to perceive the bleach she used in preparing the noodles. So after that, the next day, look at my kids all swollen, throwing up and having running stomach. With me too, I was throwing up and having running stomach. We all my husband had to rush us to the hospital, and they ran us a lab and said it was food poisoning. Oh my god. Yes, food poisoning. I had to call the girl and start asking her. She refused to talk. I said, what did you put in the food? What did you put in the food? She was denying it at first until the doctor came and was wanting to beat her. First she said bleach. I made a mistake was that I didn't ask her maybe if the bleach mistakenly fell into the food. I didn't ask her if the bleach mistakenly fell into the food or she purposely did it. I didn't even want to do anyone, but I was just concerned about my kids getting well first, and they said they were not going to give my kids drugs to stop the purging, and they had to pull out everything from their system. They place them on drip, place them on oral drip, so that they'll pull out every poison that was in their system. Guys, I cried. I was not telling the doctor, I just paid this girl's fee. I took her to good school. Like, I started recalling things I do for her. Like, I wanted her to feel at home. I wanted her to feel she's a part of me. It also just said, I shouldn't even be looking at how much I spend at this time now and what is actually on ground, what is happening. I should just send this girl back home. When we got discharged, when my kids were recuperating, getting better, that was when I now called her mom. Okay, I now saw her diary where she wrote, since I didn't want her to go, I think I still have that later in my phone. I'll check if I have it and I'll upload it. Since I didn't want her to go, she was going to cause disaster in my life. This girl is just 13 years old. 13 years old. And I told her, do you know, with this letter and with my lab results, if I take you to the cell, to the police cell, you're going to sleep there because it's an evidence. They don't even need you to say anything. because you want to go. Your mom begged me that I should not listen to you, that's how maybe you're not used to where you are. Because in my area, my street, we don't have kids. I hardly even see my neighbor. Sometimes in the month I see my neighbor like just once or twice. So she wasn't comfortable, she couldn't stay. That's why you want to poison my kids. Anyway, I sent her back home immediately and she went home. So now I'm expecting another person. Honestly, I wanted to say I'm done with maids, but having under three kids, man, I don't know how I'm going to cope. Honestly, I don't know how I'm going to cope. Maybe it's doable. Is it just me? Is it my brain? Or am I just scared that I might not be able to do it? I'm scared of maybe getting stressed out and pouring the frustration on my kids. That's why I really think I need help. Well, I don't know, with the recent happenings that happened to me, please, if you have experienced any of this, write it down in the comment section so I can read and know how did you handle it. How did you handle it? Did you train your kids without help? Did you carry your kids without nanny? Please guys, comment. I need to know, because this one I'm expecting, like, I'm so scared. I'm so scared, honestly. I need help. I have phobia already. I have phobia. It's been since February she left. Now we're in August. Honestly, if not for my sister, I don't know how I would have coped. And those of you that have your mothers, those of you that are married and have your moms very close to you, you're very lucky. You actually do not know what God has done for you. Yes, so you don't know what God has done for you. So I want to know, I want to hear from you mommies. I want to hear from you, the singles. Did your mom have help when she was carrying you guys? How did she do it? I don't know. I feel our mothers that brought us up, they brought us up without help, but they were always beating us, throwing us their slippers, turning gari, yam, everything out of frustration, of stress. Honestly, that's what I think. So I'm trying to avoid that. I don't want to get overwhelmed with housework. It makes me depressed, it makes me sad, honestly, and being that I didn't space my kids is going to be difficult for me. So guys, I would love to hear from you in my comment section. And that is it for this vlog. This is it on this vlog. Hope to see you in my next video. Bye. Ciao ciao.